Talking Trotting now, catching up with Michael Bellman over here in Ararat. Hello, Mick.
Hello, Paulie.
Just like to highlight some of the quiet achievers, I think, around in the trotting industry. And there's so many trainers now with trotters. I'm here today. I've actually been doing horses' teeth, but we're talking about trotters. How many trotters do you have in work?
5 of the 10 that are in work are trotters at the moment.
And that's what I love, and I think there's so many more stables starting to change that way. What is it? What is the attraction with trotters? For a young or middle of the road, I suppose, trainer, if you like. What's the attraction with them?
I think it's just the way it's fallen. Gary Hull and Tracy Hull, they wholly and solely just breed the trotters. So I've ended up with 4 of them in the care at the moment, and then Wish Upon a Dream's come for a little holiday while Beck's sunning herself in Queensland. So that's basically the way it's worked out. We've got a couple of our own spelling to come back, but you've got to have that balance to make you more insane, I think.
One question I ask a lot of people, and if you good horse, if you drive a good trotter or a bad trotter, if you have a middle of the road pacer and a middle of the road trotter, which do you prefer to drive?
I think the trotters, you get a bit more satisfaction out of them. They're a lot more of a challenge. It's a lot more with their shoeing, a lot more with their gear, but once you get them and they're consistent and they're reliable, they do give you a good feel.
You got Wish Upon a Dream here at the minute. Tiny little horse. The beauty of a trotter is it's the size of their stride, not the size of the horse, isn't it?
Yeah, and the best part of her is she's just all heart. Like we call her little, and she's little by name, little by nature, but she's never seen herself in the mirror. And when you see her aura around the place, she thinks she's 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
And I love her, and I love what Beck does, sharing it to social media, and the love she has for all of the horses. The other bloke, Lionheart, he's actually at our place at the minute. Hasn't been featuring a lot in social media lately, but she does love them, that's for sure.
Yeah, I pay out on Bill. I call him the Spud because I thought he was useless, but to her, he was her champion, and he gave her a hell of a ride. And then, like you say, through the power of social media, he had a cult following, and every time she'd post something up, she'd get over 100 likes or whatever with him. And he was no champion, but he was her champion, and that's what gets them out of bed. And like we've all got those horses in the stable, they might not be your greatest horse, but there's a bit of character about them that makes them one of your faves.
And Wish Upon a Dream's starting to do that, although, what do you call him? What was his stable name?
Well, Bill was Lionheart, and Lenore is Wish Upon a Dream, but we call her Little.
Little's better for me, but Bill had trouble trying to win that first race. She is a winner, and she's got a lot more going for it. Horse in your stable. There's two I want to highlight, but one I do want to is TikTok. Beautiful filly boy, love you. Going through that lovely little head scratching stage at the minute for trotters.
Yeah, well, she was one of the ones that was bomb-proof early days and was really good to deal with, and she's just the faster she's got and the better she's got. She's starting to know that, and just a few little chinks have come in the armour, just body-wise, and you're here to do her teeth today and didn't tell me the news I wanted to really hear, but anyway, she's just a work in progress, but the ability's there, the rest will follow. Is
it the difference between Pacers and Trotters that she gives you a bit of grief, but you still put up with it because you know one day when it clicks, whereas a pacer with the same sort of ability, you nearly say, I'll give it to someone else to try?
Yeah, she's tested me a fair few times, but she's always just suggested that she's going to need time. And she's put, like, if we keep forgetting, she's only had 6 starts this time in. She's won 2 of them, ran second the other one, and then a couple of times she's been naughty. So we can forgive her for that because the ability's there. We've just got to sort out what's the little issue that's causing her to get a B in a bonnet race day.
Vic bred her main aim towards the end of the season?
Yeah, she's Vic bred and breeders, so she's got the pointy end of the year to come. So we've got a little bit of time up our sleeve. She'll head to Horsham to trial and try and get the bar lifted off her, and then hopefully sort her manners from there.
Doing the Talking Trotting show, and I go through all the results and all the winners. Majestic Pride, horse in your stable, not a highfalutin, not a big name or anything else like that. I've only been doing the show 2 weeks, featuring both times. It's nice when trotters get into a bit of form, if you like. Yeah, she was my headache. She just refused to score up, and then just played with a few things race day. Just got the clerks to. She just stands there. She doesn't circle around, much to the steward's disgust at times. But it was the making of her, just standing there because she gets herself so highly strung. The clerks lead her up, and once she gets rolling and she can find a hatch or get on the back of the gate, she's usually pretty good after that, and that's been the difference in her. But if you have to make her do her circling and everything like that, well, that's just the end of her. She can't handle it, and I think that's one thing we need. We need them winning because, I mean, it's great. Like I said, I've done it twice, mentioned her name both times, and, she ain't winning the Inter-Dominion or any of these big races, but it's just good that, especially for the owners and for yourself, like you only have a small team of horses, to have those horses ticking along in the winner's circle. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, well, she was borderline being sent to stud this year until she smartened her act up because we were just banging our heads. We went and requested to be EOD and they couldn't do it because you can only be EOD if you got 2 engagements for the week, and so we were running out of options, and so the last option was just to put her with the clerks and get them to lead her up, and they basically saved her career, and she's won 2 of the last 3 because of that.
Yeah, no, good little story. The other reason you're on here, last week when I go through them, 4 winners in the trotting ranks. It's not too bad. There is a problem with this, though, because James Herbertson had it the week before. He had 4 winners as well. He didn't drive a winner the next week. He didn't drive a winner here in the state. He did drive one in South Australia, but in Victoria he missed out. But like, as a driver and as a person that goes, do you look forward to jumping on some of these trotters?
The good ones are really good to jump on. The tricky ones, they get you up and about because it's a great expectation or unknown, I suppose, because you never know what you're going to get the same thing twice with some of them. But as I say, they are more challenging to drive than the paces, and when you get it right, it is a good satisfaction.
It's good going back to the people because a lot of the time they're smaller trainers, especially for yourself. You don't get to drive for a lot of the big stables. They're smaller trainers. They have the head scratches where they take them the races and they gallop. So I'm tipping last week was probably a good fillet. I think 2 were for you, but the other 2 was for small trainers. That makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like Charlie Walker for Kenny Whelan, he got the job done at Melton and then went to Bendigo the other night and got a bit fierce going to the gate and bungled it. But he's a horse that's always been better out of the draw, and he's back there again now that he's bombed it the other night. But yeah, it's the bread and butter trainers that they get up every morning like the big stables and they put just as much in, if not more, and to see them when you come back and everything's come together for them too, it's a great feeling.
Mickey, thank you very much. We could talk about a lot of things, but we'll just try and keep it short and sweet. We'll catch up again before long, that's for sure, but thanks for joining me on Talking Trotters, mate.
No worries, thanks, Paulie.